What we're going to do in this video is go over a couple real common malfunctions that people experience with modern semi-automatic handguns. These malfunctions are easy to clear as long as you know what you're doing. And again, I'm going over that in this video on how to clear them. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to show you guys how to set them up so that way you can practice in your homes. The first word of advice is use inert training ammunition. Snap caps, inert ammunition. Do not use live ammunition when you're at your house doing this type of stuff. Don't need to hurt yourself, a loved one, or send a round through your home just for the sake of training. So the first malfunction we'll go over is the typical stovepipe. This happens a lot, sometimes more often than not, just depending on the condition of your firearms, magazines, and ammunition. And this is one of those malfunctions that you just don't want to happen in a self-defense situation, but it does. It is what it is, so you have to know how to clear it and clear it fast because you want to get yourself back into the fight as soon as possible. Now to set it up, take your magazine, put at least 2 rounds of snap cap ammunition in your magazine. Now take your handgun, lock the slide to the rear, insert the magazine, take a spare snap cap, insert it either on the top or on the side depending on how your ejection port is set up, and go ahead and send the slide home. There you go. You can also ease it forward if you feel better doing that. If just the design of your handgun, you don't want to pinch your hands or anything in the chamber and the slide here. So be careful when you're doing that. But there is your stovepipe. You can see a round almost chambered, and you can see this right here sticking out, preventing the gun from going into battery. There's a lot of reasons this could happen. It is what it is. It shouldn't happen as long as you have a good handgun, good ammunition, and you take care of it very well, but it is what it is. Murphy's Law is a bitch. If this does happen, you do a simple maneuver to clear it. You don't have to worry about technical type stuff. I like to follow Clint Smith from Thunder Ranch, his philosophy on it. Don't over-engineer it, just get it cleared. It's a simple tap rack. Tap the magazine, rotate your hand over, cup the slide, or grab the slide like this, depending on the type of handgun you have. This has a lot of meat to the slide here, a lot of surface area, so it's easy for me to wrap over. If you got something like a CZ82, CZ75, one of those designs of handguns, there's not a lot of slide, it's kind of a small slide, you might be better served to grab like this. It just takes experimentation depending on what type of handgun you have. For this Glock 22 right here, I can reach right over. So, simple demonstration, tap it, rotate over, slingshot the slide, and there you go. It's clear. Now the gun can fire, hopefully. If it happens again, you go ahead and do the malfunction clearance again. If it continues to happen, dump the magazine, insert a new magazine, and hopefully that one will work for you. So that's the tap rack maneuver, just to clear out a simple stovepipe. Real easy to do. And this next one is going to be a little bit harder, but it's also something that you need to know how to do just because of the fact that this could also happen. It doesn't matter if your handgun's a $100 handgun or a $3,000 handgun. And this is basically a failure to extract double feed type scenario. Now to set this up, all you need to do, take a snap cap, take your handgun, insert the snap cap into the chamber like so. Take a fully loaded magazine, send it home, and there you go. You can see there's a round attempting to go forward, but it can't because, let's see if I can get it to focus better, there's already a round in the chamber. So you have the slide forward putting pressure on the round in the chamber and on the round that's still in the magazine. And the reason this happens, just extractor issues. That's usually the most common. For whatever reason, the extractor claw failed to yank that casing out of the chamber. Whether the casing itself expanded too much and got stuck, or just a weak extractor claw, it doesn't matter. It is what it is, and it happens. So you have to learn how to deal with it. Now, if you try a tap rack with this situation, which is what you would do first, because anytime your gun goes mushy, it should be automatic to go over and either grab like so, or go over and grab like so, and try to rack. And you'll see nothing happens. So a lot of people might go, oh crap, I'm SOL. Well, now you have to basically, in essence, unload the gun and then reload the gun. That's all you got to do. Don't worry about fancy acronyms. Don't worry about this and that or the other thing. All you're doing is unloading the gun and reloading the gun. So to do that, all you have to do is suck the magazine out. Don't worry about locking the slide back. Most semi-autos, and there might be a few out there that might be a little bit hard to grab, but pretty much most of the semi-autos you can grab the base plate in some fashion and just yank it out of there. So you want to just yank the magazine out. Then reach over the top, cycle the slide a few times to clear out whatever jam there is. When you cycle it a few times, visually look and determine, yep, there's no more brass in that chamber. Take a magazine, preferably a different magazine, insert it, and load the gun. So I'll go ahead and demonstrate. So here I am, bang, bang, uh-oh. Everything went mushy. Tap, rack, didn't work. So all I'm going to do is depress the magazine button, yank the magazine out, and I'm going to reach over, unload the gun. Yep, it's clear. Take another magazine, insert it, and there you go. That's all you're doing is you're unloading the gun, then reloading the gun. Pretty simple, folks. There's always debate on this particular one whether or not you lock the slide back first. I'm from the mindset that if this is happening during a gunfight, I'm pretty pumped up on adrenaline. I'm not going to be sitting here worrying about little finagling, small actions as far as locking the slide back. I'm going to pretty much be beating the crap out of this gun to get it to work. So I'm going to have no problems yanking the magazine out, reaching over, and then just reloading the gun. If my life's online, I'm going to beat the crap out of that thing. That's just the way it is. So there it is. 2 simple malfunctions that if you don't know how to clear them can get you in really big trouble. But if you do know how to clear them, then it's not that big of a deal. As long as you get to the point to where it's almost muscle memory. Now, one note on this this double feed malfunction that I just did. Take special note, with the magazine, you typically want to grab a new magazine when you suck that magazine out. Because usually what happens, let's see if I can set it up here. Usually what happens when you pull a magazine out in that situation, this is what you get. You get a round kind of stuck out like that. If I have another magazine in reserve, I'm not going to worry about this magazine. It's just going to go to the ground, it's going to go away, and I'm going to go for my fresh magazine when I reload the gun. If this is your only magazine left, then you can kind of reach up when you get your index on your magazine, just push with your finger to get that round seated back in. So that way it's seated correctly in the magazine. That way when you put it back in the gun, it'll load correctly. So just some thought on that. If you do have spare magazines, just dump that magazine. You can get it later if you're still alive. But you want to make sure you get rounds in the gun. So don't worry about keeping that one magazine if it's going to mess you up and cause you to take too much time. Do what you got to do to get it loaded. Another note, when you're at close quarters, think about moving and getting to cover before you try this stuff. A tap rack bang is pretty easy to do. It's pretty simple and straightforward. You can do it within a second or two to clear out a malfunction. But when you got a double feed and you have to unload and reload the gun, don't be just sitting there in front of your threat. If the gun is messed up, you get to cover, create distance first before you even attempt to clear out the malfunction. If you got your attention turned on the gun while you're sitting there with no cover and your threat's shooting at you, you're not going to have your attention diverted on that gun too long because you're going to end up dead. So you want to make sure you get to cover first, create distance, create cover, then worry about getting your tool back in the fight. So I hope this was informative. Hope it wasn't too much rambling. Try these clearance drills out if you haven't already done so. A lot of you guys that's watched this before, it's kind of old hat to you. but there's a lot that watch my videos that are kind of new to the game. So try it. You need to be able to do it without thinking about it, and you should be able to do it right-handed and left-handed. You should be ambidextrous in your malfunction clearance. The biggest rule in the world of gunfighting is you shouldn't have a weak side. You should be ambidextrous in everything you do, because you never know what type of situation you're going to be in. So all right, with that said, thanks a lot for watching, and as always, stay safe, stay free, stay armed.